Hello, my name is Evert and today I will explain you how to set up a storage server with iSCSI. I will try to cover as much details as possible. First we will start with installing a clean Ubuntu system. Of course you could choose for another distribution such as Debian or CentOS. That's completely up to you. I will show you how you can configure a software RAID and of course I will show you how to install an iSCSI SAN server. Last but not least, I will show you how to connect to your brand new storage server. So let's get started. So as you can see, I will demonstrate this on a virtual machine. I won't show you how to install Ubuntu and so I will show you when I'm on the position to install the software RAID configuration. So let's skip this part and see you in a moment. Okay, here we are. So we're gonna partition disk. Of course, I choose for manual, and I will just make empty partitions on all of the disks. It's not that hard if you know what you should do. First time you will probably check out another tutorial, or you can just see right now. I will select configure software RAID. I will set up yes. First I need to write the changes to the disk. Okay. Did that. Create a MD device. All the RAID drives in Linux are called MD or something like that. I select firstly RAID 1. I will install the operating system that is, so it's a mirror disk. Of course, 2 disks is enough. No spare disks. And I select 2 disks of 80 gigabytes. Continue. Yes, you may write this to disk. Create another one, and this one I will use for the iSCSI SAN server, actually to storage, to use as a storage drive. I will use 4 disks for a RAID 5 array. Of course, you can choose for another RAID configuration, or you can use hardware RAID, but yeah, I don't have any hardware RAID control, so I will use software RAID. Software RAID is not a bad choice at all because it's easy to recover if you have a problem, while if your heart rate card crashes it can cause a lot of problems. You need maybe someone who is specialized in that kind of things, yeah. But whatever, for disk it is. Well, 0 space, spare drives. I select for disk of 100 gigabytes. Continue. Of course, I will write this. And let's finish this up. Okay, then I'm quite lazy today. I will use guided partitioning to continue. I press guided, use entire disk, and for the operating system I will select a RAID 1 device, so it's to be sure it's safe. You don't need to set up RAID, of course, but it's usual you do so for a storage server. Okay, let's do this, and I will finish partitioning and right change the disk. The second RAID device, I don't do anything without it right now. I will use it later. Okay, save changes to disk, and yeah, it's formatting disks. And now I will continue the setup, and yeah, we will go further in a moment. So here we are on our fresh installed Ubuntu server. We will now start with setting up LVM. LVM is Logical Volume Manager. It is quite handy to use that kind of setup, so you can later easily make bigger or smaller volumes. If you want to know more about LVM, you could check out some tutorials. You can find quite a lot of information about it. But first we will need to partition our second RAID device, which is the RAID 5 device. So let's log in. Okay, username, password. So let's clean this with Control plus L. Okay, to make sure we have our RAID devices, we can do something like this, and then grab device is starting with MD. Okay, so we have MD0 and MD1 device. I will install gdisk to partition my second disk. So sudo apt-get install gdisk. My password. Yes, I would like to install. Okay. Gdisk is installed. Now I will format the second RAID device. Sudo, well, let's make a root. We will need it for a time. Clean the screen. Gdisk def md1. You can take the help menu. As you can see, O is to create a new GPT table. Okay, yes, we want this. Let's create a new partition. Yes, the defaults are just fine. We will use the whole device. And of course, write the changes to disk. Yes, so that was it. That was easy. Now let's install LVM volume manager apt-get install LVM2. Of course, again, yes. I should have omitted that with minus y parameter, but whatever. So LVM is ready to set up. First we will create a physical device where we can later make volumes on, and logical volumes we will come in detail within a moment. pv create def md device, the second RAID device actually, and the first partition. Okay, that should be it. Okay, it's created. So we added a physical volume for LVM. Of course, if you have multiple volumes, or maybe you didn't set up RAID, you could add as much physical volumes as you want. On the physical volumes altogether, you can create volume groups. So now I will create a volume group. vg create create. Nope. vg create. Oh, of course I did something wrong. I forgot the C. Whatever. vg create storage. I will call it storage. You may call it whatever you want. Def md1 p1. Okay. Storage successfully created, and now I will add some logical volumes. You can compare it with traditional partitions, but it's easy to make them a little bit smaller or make them a little bit bigger. So that's quite handy to do so. With a traditional partition, it's not as easy as it is with LVM. But okay, let's do this. LVG create. We will do it on, we will call it volume 1, size of 100 gigabytes, and on the storage volume you created earlier. So we will add a second volume, and to make sure everything is okay, LV display. As you can see, we created 2 volumes. Of course, you can use same comments for physical comments and so on. PV display, of course, not creating. You can see a lot of more comments. You can even enter LVM, and then you have the whole list of comments and so on. But we won't use it right now. cd def mapper lsla. As you can see, our mappers are made for storage volume, and now we can actually setting up targetcli to configure our iSCSI send server. So let's do this. apt-get install targetcli -y. So we don't have to press yes. This will take a moment, so let's continue in a moment. So the installation of targetcli is finished. Let's clear this out. Let's start the targetcli tool. Okay, whatever. First of all, we will need to add our block devices. As you probably know, iSCSI is based on a protocol which used block devices, so partitions without a file system. CD, backstores, and iBlock devices, and we will add our device. So create. You can use tab for auto-completion if you want. Def mapper and storage volume 1. We checked this out earlier, as you know, and the name is of course volume 1. You can choose another name if you want, of course. That's it basically. Let's maybe add another volume. It's already in use, yeah, of course. I didn't change this parameter as well. Okay, done. We added 2 block devices. CD iSCSI. There we will create a so-called EQ and number. So it's auto-generated if you just press create. That's it. We're gonna go into that IQN number and then tpgt1. Alas, it's clear out. That is your target where you will create actually your LUN devices and your access policies, and of course you will need to create a portal. So a portal is where the end user, so your desktop for example, can access your storage. So first let's create a portal. CD portals, create. It's completely auto-generated. Of course you can create it manually as well. You can do that easily, it's the same actually, but this is just fine for now. Let's go back to our LUNs. We will create a LUN, create backstores, iBlock phone. As you see, I used auto-completion. We will create 2 LUNs. Okay, going back, now we will set up our authentication. So cd ACLs, create, and then you have to choose an EQN number. Of course, it has to be in a certain format. So usually IQN dot the date, or at least the month of the year and the month. Be yeah, something you can choose. VM1, volume 1 or volume 2, and 2. So I made it 2 ACLs we can use later on. Set the icon, first one, and then I only wanted the first ACL can access LUN 0, and the second ACL may only access the second. So I'm going to delete, as you can see, there are 2 map LUNs. I'm going to delete the second one, so delete 1, cd cd IQN, this time the second volume, and here we will delete the first LUN. So that's it actually. Of course we have to set the authentication. Get out, currently it's empty. Set password, I will set out password equals to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Make this long enough, it's important. Set user ID out, again forgot it. User ID as equals to asli cd uqn, set out password 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, doesn't matter. Set out user ID asli and get out. Yeah, it's done. Okay, that's it. And actually now we are done with configure our iSCSI SAN server. It's that easy. Don't forget to save the config. Yes, and voila, that's it actually, and now we can set it up to use it on another computer. So let's do this in a moment. So I installed a fresh install of Debian as a desktop environment, and now I will try to connect to my just freshly new installed storage server. So apt-get, maybe first make us root. Apt-get install open iSCSI, which is a client for Debian as iSCSI. So it is installed. Let's restart the service. Service open iSCSI restart. Done. Then we have to edit some configuration files. iSCSI, the initiator name, and here we will put in our initiator name. We can delete this. Okay, and that was 2015, 12 months. be asli.iSCSI VM1. Let's save this file, and now let's edit another file, the configuration file of the daemon. We would like to start it up automatically, and of course we have to enter a username and a password. The username was asli, and the password is 1234567 123456789. Okay, that's it. Let's restart the service once again. Okay, that should be it. And then iSCSI admin mode is discovery. We're gonna discover if there is any portals on our server. Let's pass some options first. st-p, so the portal IP 119. You can find out this IP on the send server with a tool such as ifconfig or something like that. Okay, we are going to discover. There it is. So as we can see, we can discover something on that portal. iSCSI admin again. This time we are going to be as mode a node, and we would like to log in on that portal with the given credentials given in the configuration files we adjusted earlier. Okay, and as we can see, it's successful. So now we are connected to the storage file server. The MSG. We're gonna check if there is any new disk added. We grab SD, and as we can see, a test SCSI disk on SDB. Gonna make a file system on it. For this time, ext4 will be fine. Def SDB. So it's creating a partition. Done. Tune to file system -o mmp def sdb. This is to be sure that it's only used or mounted by one computer at one time, as it is ext4. It's not used for multiple users at the same time, so this command will secure this. Okay, done. So as you can see, it will check every 5 seconds. Let's make a directory we can mount on it. Volume 1 or something. Mount def sdb, and then media md v1 I called it. Okay, that should be it. Maybe we can create some nice file. Done. Let's save this. Let's save this. Okay, v1 whatever, save activities, and let's open our files. And where it is, let's move to computer dev. No, I created it under media, I'm sorry. media volume 1, and wait a second, my network is quite slow at the moment. Okay, and here it is, the file is online. Yeah, that was it, I suppose. If you want, you can do something similar under a Windows environment. It's called iSCSI initiator. You have to enter the right ACL and of course to enter your username and password. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to post a comment on this video and I will try to help you. Thanks, bye.